story real quick. I was looking around on the crime page for the People's Magazine. I think this is the People's Magazine, but this is their website. So I was looking online at the different criminal articles and stuff, and I came across this one, which intrigued me. So this is about a man named Deundray Cottrell. I hope I'm saying that correctly. So this man, first he went missing, then they found his body. But the thing is, this man was at a family gathering when he disappeared. He was at a family gathering, okay? This was for the 4th of July. He went to go visit his sister. I'm gonna link this article, but he went to go visit his sister for the 4th of July festivities. He came there with, from what I read, one of his partners. Now, the partner he was there with was the one he met after his original partner. His original partner is a man named Deundray Cottrell. Okay. This is his original partner. So this is the partner he's been with for the longest. They've been together for 14 years. But on this particular trip to his sister's house in Georgia, was it Georgia? Alabama. Hold on, y'all. Okay. So he was visiting his sister Harris, which is here, his sister Angelica Harris. So on the 4th of July, Cottrell was visiting Harris and her family in Birmingham, Alabama. And Deundray, he was visiting with his romantic partner, Julian Morris. Okay. So Morris was there with Deundray, not his long-term partner, Mr. Cottrell. Mr. Cottrell was not there this particular trip. So Mr. Cottrell was with the other partner, Mr. Morris. Now, like I said, it says Cottrell and Cottrell had been in a relationship for 14 years. They were together first, and then they met Morris in 2021. So Morris came after the fact. But that's who Cottrell was with at the for the fireworks for the 4th of July. That's who he was with. That's who he came to visit his sister with, Mr. Morris. Okay. So further on down, it reads how Mr. Cottrell told his sister he was going to go in the house. He was going in the house for his dog. It says he went inside to check on his dog shortly before the fireworks began. And that was the last time that the sister saw him, was when he went in the house to check on his dog. It says Harris, which is the sister. Harris says she thought it was odd that Cottrell and Morris were visiting without Deundray Cottrell, who was in a polyamorous romantic relationship with the two. She said there were times that Cottrell would come by himself, but we have never seen just Cottrell and Julian. So I wonder what made this trip so different. I wonder what made this trip so different. That this particular trip, he shows up with just Morris. And that's out of the norm. The sister said that she assumed the trio possibly had a disagreement or that Deundray's schedule wouldn't allow for the trip. We don't know that part. She's just speculating as to why Mr. Deundray wasn't there and it was just Julian Morris. So either way, that was out of the norm. It says when Cottrell, so he went inside to check on his dog. It says when Cottrell never came back outside to watch the fireworks, Harris, which is the sister, says Morris told her that Cottrell jumped out of a window in her home and vanished. Is this behavior out of the norm? Or does he usually do shit like this? Just disappear without telling anybody, even though for all intents and purposes, it seems like he was okay before he went to go check on his dog. Then, after going to check on his dog, he never comes back, and it's because the friend Morris says he jumped out of a window. I would even say that that's odd. But it says, when Harris, which is the sister, realized all of the windows in her home were sealed and shut, she asked Morris again about where her brother went. Then she says Morris told her that Cottrell actually jumped off of the patio and disappeared. We got a problem here. We got a motherfucking problem here. We got a damn problem here. What? So, you mean to tell me you were around during the time that he jumped, but you couldn't remember whether he jumped from the window or the patio? First you said the window, and then you said the patio, so you already caught up in the lie. How you mistake the two? And if you jumping from the patio, where the hell is the patio? Is it upstairs some kind of way? Is it like off the ground, up near the top of the house or something? Because when you say jumped off the patio, how far is the patio from the ground? So he jumped from the patio. You're saying he jumped from either the window or the patio, and he took off. He disappeared. And you didn't bother to go after him. You didn't bother to tell anybody or anything, because prior to the sister asking you anything, you didn't bother to come and tell the family that he just jumped and you can't find him. You didn't say anything. I find it interesting that it wasn't until the sister went to look for him that Morris said something. And then when she went to go check her windows, they were all shut. He had lied just that fast, and then she came back and confronted him, and then he tells her, no, he jumped off the patio. How you get that confused? How do you get the patio and the window confused? I'm already looking at you fucking sideways. Okay. So then Morris is like, I was trying to tell him that I loved him, and he jumped. Why would he jump? Because you told him you loved him, he jumped? See, this couldn't have been my sibling. This couldn't have been my sibling. Because first of all, if Morris didn't start telling me some shit that sounded like it made sense about my brother, or if he wasn't displaying the type of response that supported the situation, he wasn't getting out of my eyesight. And I was going to continue to probe and ask questions. Because ain't no way in the world I'm frantic and I don't understand what the hell going on about my damn brother. And his friend is standing in front of me telling me that he went to tell this man that he loved him and he jumped. And it definitely don't fucking help that he first told me that my brother jumped from a window, and I go check the windows and all of them sealed, and I come back and now he's saying, no, he didn't jump from a window, he jumped from the patio and disappeared. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. I'm sorry, but your ass ain't getting the fuck out of here. You ain't going no fucking where. If you try to leave I'm gonna make shit bad for you. I'm gonna make shit bad for you. I'm taking your license plate. I want you to show me your damn driver's license. I'm taking everything because some shit don't make sense. I'm doing everything that I can do without violating somebody. You ain't got to show me your license, but I'm gonna take a picture of your face. I'm gonna take a picture of your car. I'm taking a picture of your tags on your car. I'm doing everything that I can because, and if I ain't doing it, I got somebody doing it. Because this is my family member and they are missing. You're supposed to be their partner. And not just their intimate partner, but their business partner. You don't seem to be a bit alarmed here. Because if you were alarmed, you would have came to us. We wouldn't have came to you about his whereabouts, where he is. So Morris, at this point, knows more than everybody else at the party. Even at this point, he knows more than everybody. Even at this point, he's the last person to see Mr. Cottrell. He's the last person to see him, even at this point, when he's talking to people. So, nah, it wasn't going down like that. It says, Harris and her family immediately began searching for Cottrell, but they were unable to find him that evening. Now, okay, yeah, this is the 4th of July. Fireworks are going off, and it's, who knows? It could have been music playing. It could have been all kind of distraction going on, where it could have made it difficult to notice anything fishy going on or something out of the norm going on, because it was, they were doing it during the time where it was a bunch of stuff going on. They were at a 4th of July event. So I would have known something was up. Something's fishy. Okay. It says the next day, Garnell traveled to Birmingham to help with the search. So Garnell is the long-term partner for Mr. Cottrell. When the family, now look at this, okay? When the family was speaking to Morris, it didn't seem like it was no urgency, or it didn't seem like any distress was going on. This man couldn't even remember if Mr. Cottrell jumped from a window or jumped from the patio, because he said two different things. And the reason he gave for Mr. Cottrell jumping is a little bit odd. That's not the reaction that you should be given unless it's an unwanted situation. If you're jumping after somebody tells you that they love you, this is a situation that's very uncanny, okay? Something's not right. And I don't believe that that's what happened. So it says Garnell, Cottrell, and Morris were all part of a Ski Boys Entertainment. That was their dancing group. It says a male trio dancing group in Atlanta, Georgia. And they had a large following on social media. So everybody who followed them was going to know that Mr. Cottrell was missing. Garnell and Cottrell have been in a relationship for 14 years, and then they met Morris in 2021. Mr. Garnell says, our relationship flourished over the years, especially moving to Atlanta and starting a business together. So after 2021, they a whole trio. Garnell describes Cottrell as organized and particular, adding that he doesn't take risks. So that's a little odd. He don't take risk. So he just gonna vanish without anybody knowing? He don't take risks, but he vanished without anybody knowing. What? That's out of character. And Mr. Garnell was with Mr. Cottrell for 14 years prior to meeting Mr. Morris. Mr. Garnell says the idea that Cottrell jumped from a height on July 4th to leave his sister's house is hard for him to wrap his head around. And this is the person who's been with Mr. Cottrell the longest saying this, versus the person who's been with Mr. Cottrell the least amount of time saying that's exactly what he did. No. Even the family was shocked. Like, what? He did what? Why would he do that? So maybe this was not in his character to do something like this. Mr. Garnell says, I just can't believe that he would do that, especially at a place like his sister's house. Exactly. Which we visited her for years. That's his safe place. So why would he leave his safe place after hearing that someone loves him? His reaction is to jump out a window or jump off a patio and disappear. Mr. Morris, you looking worse and worse to me. You're looking worse to me as a person. It says, throughout their 14-year relationship, Garnell grew close to Cottrell's family. So when they told him Cottrell was missing, he knew he had to help in the search. Mr. Garnell's immediate reaction to Mr. Cottrell being missing is one of urgency and somebody in distress. That is what that is. After it was brought to his attention that somebody he loved was missing, he knew he had to help. There was a sense of urgency here. And that's to me is an appropriate response. That's all I'm saying. So Mr. Garnell gets into Birmingham on July 5th to help look for his partner, because at this point, nobody knows where Mr. Cottrell is, and Mr. Morris is gone. Okay, this is 2 days after. Mr. Morris is gone. I mean, a day after. I'm sorry. This is a day after the 4th of July. So when he left. He didn't come back to assist in searching. He didn't stay there to search. Nobody in this write-up is saying that Mr. Morris stuck around to help, to assist. He left. Come on now. Come on. On July 6th, Mr. Garnell requested search and rescue dogs to help find Mr. Cottrell. And that day, they found Mr. Cottrell's body in an abandoned shed near his sister's home. So he didn't get very far. He jumped out the window or off the patio, according to Mr. Morris. But he didn't go very far. He didn't go very far. The dogs picked up on Mr. Cottrell's body in an abandoned shed near his sister's home. Now, why? I mean, I guess when someone is missing, you look everywhere. Why would he think? Why would they believe, or why would they think that their brother would be in an abandoned shed? Oh, goodness. This is a problem. Okay, the sister says, it was the strangest day. I remember all of us standing out in the road. I remember taking off running to the stop sign. And I remember seeing the cops tying the yellow tape. As soon as they started to tie the tape, it started to rain. And it rained and rained and rained the rest of the day. And everybody stood in the rain. I just remember being numb. Because she had just seen her brother. She just seen her brother. Her brother was at her house attending an event with the family. And the last time she saw him, he was going in the house to check on his dog. Going in her house to check on his dog. And that was the last time she saw him. But you know what? You know who was actually the last person to see Mr. Cottrell? It wasn't his sister. It was his partner. His partner was the last person to see him alive. And that partner is gone. He's not around. This is the same person who had just, so he said, told Mr. Cottrell that he loved him. So I just told my partner that I love him, and he disappeared. And I'm not wondering why. It's not causing me any type of distress or anxiety that he just left and I don't know where he is. You didn't bother to run after him. You didn't try to prevent him from leaving. You didn't go get the family members to tell them anything so they can help. No, hell no. Y'all already know what this is. The Birmingham police has labeled Mr. Cottrell's death a homicide, but his cause of death has not been released, and few official details have been announced. It says, however, the police department has labeled Morris as a person of interest, but that's not surprising. Why wouldn't he be a person of interest? This is Mr. Morris right here. That's Mr. Morris. This is the person who was there and the last person who saw Mr. Cottrell alive. Why wouldn't the police need to speak with him? They need to know. They need to know the state that Mr. Cottrell was in before he disappeared. What was said, what his mannerisms were like, the types of things he was talking about or expressing. Was he crying? Was he happy? You look like a nigga that got something to hide. No offense, but he looked like somebody who got something to hide to me. Anyway, I'm gonna finish reading this. It says Morris's lawyer. It says, hold on, before I get to that, it says BPD has labeled him a person of interest. Cottrell's loved ones have not had any contact with Morris since Cottrell's death. Now, I wonder why that is for somebody who had just expressed that he loved Mr. Cottrell. Why is he no longer around? Why the family can't speak to him, or why can't they get in contact with him, or why hasn't he been getting in contact with them? Has he even reached out to Mr. What's his name? Mr. Garnell at this point about Mr. Cottrell? Come on, y'all. It says, and police are still asking for him to come in for questioning. Morris's lawyer released a statement in connection with the case. Now, why do you feel the need to lawyer up? You were willing to speak to everybody before they found Mr. Cottrell's body a day later. So you were speaking to people on the 4th. But after that, you were not speaking to anyone. And I find it funny how quick you got the fuck out of Dodge. You were gone before Mr. Garnell got there to help with the search. Y'all already know what this is. And if you don't know, you're going to find out. It says Mr. Morris wants answers as well and is awaiting those answers after a full and thorough investigation has been completed. You know why he's doing that? Because in his mind, he's not going to have to bring to your attention anything that you don't already know. So once he brings it, so once the police finish their investigation and they release whatever they're going to release to the public or to the media, because he's